Yes, indeed. Welcome to Rip N Riff. Happy belated Thanksgiving to all. Jared, how was your Thanksgiving? Are we still working on the leftovers here?
We're going to be working on those leftovers for another week, buddy. You know how we do Thanksgiving around here. So it's definitely stuffed, but haven't quite had my fill yet. So I'm excited to open some cards today, especially with our special guest.
Yes, indeed. And yes, the leftover situation similar in the Bernard household as well as we make through it here over the weekend. But with it, we try to do theme episodes for the holidays. Thanksgiving obviously is about football, but it's also Survivor Series weekend traditionally in the world of wrestling. And I think there's no better guest to bring in than the host and one of the founding members of Busted Open, which you can catch weekdays from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern time on SiriusXM Fight Nation. There he is, folks, Mr. Dave LaGreca, old friend of ours as well.
I'm not as dressed as I was in that picture, but I'm happy to be here nonetheless.
Yeah, you always look good. You always look good. You look great, actually. I haven't seen you in years. You look great.
Thanks, man. I was wearing, that was the day of my roast, that picture, and then a week later, Seth Rollins was wearing the exact same suit as I wore, and then the next year, which was this past WrestleMania, at our party at the Whiskey A Go Go, which was awesome. The suit that I wore on that day, Don Callis of AEW wore that exact same suit a week later. So I'm kind of a trendsetter, which I never thought that I would actually say about myself, but that's true.
You're definitely a trendsetter. Obviously, the founder and creator of Busted Open, which is the preeminent pro wrestling talk show in the world, a show that I was very fortunate enough to be a very small part of many years ago. So, I know I speak for Adam, but, you've obviously meant a lot to both of our careers professionally. So we're really excited to have you on this week to open some wrestling cards and just have fun and reminisce and talk.
I'm excited about it. And it's funny, Jared, because first of all, you're a much bigger part of the show than you think you were, because you're a part of the show for a few years. You're our AP, so you did a tremendous job, and so I want to thank you for that. So you're part of the family for sure. So don't forget that. So thank you for everything that you've done for the show.
Thank you.
There you go, Jared. Yeah, don't be so humble. You were very important to that show while you were there because you brought the passion every day. Or that's important. I was in the office. I overheard the conversations when you guys were planning
kept us on the air because how many times we had difficulties in the studio that you helped us in. So there you go. So same with you.
Yeah, and also going back to your NFL radio days, the morning kickoff, that was always fun to.
Let's not talk about that. I'd rather forget those days. To be honest. Thank you.
Well, then let's get some card ripping then. Let's take a look at what we're going to be opening today. So for me, me, I like to go with the older packs, the throwback stuff. That's more of the wrestling area I'm familiar with. So we're going to go with the set of 1990 classic WWF, the History of WrestleMania Collector's Cards Series 2, as you can see up there on the screen. And I'll have the starting lineup unboxing later. Jared, what are you bringing to the table today?
I had a lot of different options because I have obviously the old school WWF cards from Kmart, which no longer exists. But this one featuring WrestleMania 3. A couple packs of these nice SmackDown collector's cards from the late 90s representing the Attitude Era. But me on the show, I love the Panini Prizm cards, and I had to pick up a box of the Panini Prizms. Look for Blaster exclusive green Pulsar prisms, iconic silver prisms, 3 Blaster exclusive ice prisms per box on average. So we get 6 packs of 4 cards each. So I'm excited to see what we get in these packs. Hopefully a nice mix of current roster along with some of the legends of the past. That's what I'm hoping for.
And Dave, what are you bringing to the table today?
Well, I have some of the same packs that Jared has, but I don't want to open them. I kind of like to keep them sealed, those old packs. So I went out and I bought, just for this show, I bought 3 packs of the NXT cards. There's 15 cards in a pack, and this is the developmental show for the WWE. It's live on USA every Tuesday night. They do a fantastic job. So this is kind of like some of the up-and-coming superstars. So it's the exact opposite, I feel, with you, Adam, with some of the the old school classic wrestlers, and even with the mainstream stars of Jared's pack. So I got the up-and-comers. 3 of them, 15 cards each pack.
Nice. I love it. So we're going to get a nice mix across the board. So if you're a wrestling fan of any age, I mean, this is the place to be.
Yeah. Great way to spend your Saturday.
I'm excited. And I will open them. I'm one of those guys that doesn't like to open the packs of cards. And you know what? The other thing, too, is obviously I can feel it. No gum. When did they stop putting the gum in the – you guys are the professionals. When did they stop putting the gum in the cards?
So that's early 90s, I think, is when it was completely done. By late 80s, they were still there. We've had some cards ruined by gum being in there. I believe Matt Deutsch on the episode he came on, he put the gum in his mouth despite the fact that it was about 30 years old. So
we warned him against it.
Yeah.
This pack does have a stick of gum. I can feel it in there, and it says it on there. But we will not be opening that pack today, and nor will we be tasting 30-year-old chewing gum.
Now,
40-year-old chewing gum.
I remember from when I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, the gum was never good anyway. Like the gum was really, really bad. So most of the time, even when you bought those cards, you'd throw the gum away because it was awful.
The flavor in the gum probably lasted less time than it took you to actually go through the cards in the pack. That's how short-lived it was. So, you are the guest. Would you like to be the first opener, or would you like to defer?
You know what? Since I have 3 packs, I think I'll go first, and then while you guys open your other packs, I'll open mine too.
Sweet.
Okay. All right.
So let's go. NXT 2.0, brand spanking new cards here on this show. I'm very, very excited about it.
I'm excited to see who's in this pack.
Me too. I like
I'm excited.
everything.
Listen, so you want me to go through each card? There's 15. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can breeze through some and spend more time on others, whatever you want to do.
I'm liking it. Because right now, the opening card is the guy who's behind NXT, the guy who really put it on the map, the guy who's behind it. The one and only Triple H is my first card. There you go, Triple H, my first card here.
It's a nice layout on the card, too.
And you know what? Him in the blue suit, very nice. He looks very dapper. I like the fact that they're using Triple H as the executive Triple H and not the wrestler Triple H.
100%.
I'll make my light a little bit brighter so you can see it a little bit better. But yeah, he's very handsome.
It's kind of like in NASCAR when the driver moves up to like the ownership role, kind of like in that regard.
Exactly the same thing, Adam. Ilya Dragunov, my second card. Ilya Dragunov, currently your NXT champion. So we got the founder and then we got the champion right off the bat, Ilya Dragunov. Very excited about that.
So that's someone we're probably going to see on the main roster fairly soon, right? The fact that they're, he's the flag bearer right now for the brand.
It's funny you say that, Jared, because my next card, Ivy Nile, who was seen on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. So Ivy Nile, my next card, formerly a Diamond Mine. So Noam Dar, my next card. Noam Dar from NXT, obviously. Mm-hmm. Josh Briggs, my next card.
Got a nice mix here.
A little bit of a nice mix. Von Wagner was recently a guest on Busted Open, so Von Wagner. Jack Stars, a name we don't really hear much of. Let's see who else we got here. I want to get some see if we get a little bit of a bigger name on here because some of these names are. Oh, here's a good one. How about this? From NXT, but now currently your champion in the WWE on Monday Night Raw, Rhea Ripley.
Ooh. There we go.
And this is Rhea Ripley pre-goth. This is Rhea Ripley as a blonde before she became the leader of the Judgment Day. So there you go.
And Rhea Ripley, one of the biggest stars in the business right now. Like everything she touches turns to gold. So we love seeing a little Rhea Ripley representation there in that pack.
And then my last one, you could see her on the main roster now. So she's no longer with NXT, Raquel Rodriguez. So Raquel Rodriguez, there you go.
She's been on the main roster for.
That's a good mix. Yeah, a good mix of people who are still with NXT, some champions. I mean, I think that was a good mix of stars from the NXT, and some of them now on the main roster. So
were any of those cards what we would call like a variant, like a prism or anything like that, where it's just you kind of look at it, it's different color or
no, nothing pretty generic. Some of them I passed over because some of the wrestlers that they have is on the card were future endeavored, no longer with the WWE. So no reason to bring those up. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to open up another pack.
Let's go. Yeah.
I know this is unprecedented. Already, I got some doubles. I already got doubles already. That's the other thing. Let me ask you guys something.
Sure.
When you would get like the other card, I had a friend that called them repeats. I called them doubles. What did you call them when you got the same card?
Doubles.
Okay, all right. So you guys have a soul, unlike my old friend. I got Wes Lee. He's a big star on NXT currently. This is good stuff. What do we got here? Oh boy, some of these people are no longer with the company. It's just sad. I don't even want to bring this. Some of these people I don't even know. Who the heck is this? This person's out with an injury, hasn't been seen in 8 months. Oh wow. Okay. All right.
The 2 not as good.
Angelo Dawkins. There you go.
Okay.
Angelo Dawkins on the main roster, has been on the main roster a while, started with NXT. These cards are great. Ooh, they got some NXT highlights. They got some match highlights here with Kushida. Nice like action shot of Kushida.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Bate. So I had a couple of doubles. I had some doubles from the first pack, and then some unknowns and some people who are no longer with the company. So look out for that. So maybe they'll be worth something someday.
Very nice. Yeah.
Right, I'm bypassing the Adam Bernard law of never opening more than 2 packs at one time. And I'm going to the 3rd pack.
I was unaware of that bylaw, but if I signed it, I guess.
All right, here we go.
Very nice.
A double. I got a double. I got a triple. This card's been in all 3 packs. I don't know who this is. This person's no longer with the cup. Wow, we're getting a lot of like. This one's rough.
So we've gone steadily downhill.
Yeah, this is what the 3rd pack. Oh, here's a good one though. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was with the WWE. Was future endeavored. Made himself well known on the indie scene. Came back through NXT, and now is a former WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So, Drew McIntyre.
One of the great stories, and you forgot one of the things you didn't mention with that was obviously in the storyline when he first came up, deemed the chosen one, literally handpicked by Vince McMahon to be the champion one day. And then obviously his story unfolded the way it did, where he was future endeavored, but he obviously put it in the work on the indie scene and got back on WWE's radar and won the title at WrestleMania a couple years later. So
yeah, here's the thing, Adam, with that and Jared, is that he won the Rumble. He eliminated Brock Lesnar with the Claymore in front of 55,000 fans, and then he called this shot to go after the championship at WrestleMania, and it was the WrestleMania when there was no fans because of the pandemic and the lockdown.
It was 3 weeks into the lockdown.
Yeah, so he won the WWE championship in front of 0 fans, in front of no fans.
I hope for him and his career he eventually gets that moment in front of like 80,000 screaming fans, just to I guess for lack of a better term, make up for it. But
you guys know this, Jared and Adam, you guys know this better than anybody, fan of mainstream sports. Like, you have like an opportunity at a Super Bowl or a World Series, and you think, all right, there's going to be another opportunity. It's like the whole Dan Marino thing. Early in his career, he gets a shot at the Super Bowl, never got back to another Super Bowl for the rest of his career. So, I hear what you're saying, Jared, but who knows? He may never have that opportunity again. And my last card I feel is the all-time greatest female wrestler, and that is Charlotte Flair, daughter of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, multi-time women's champion. This is her when she was with NXT, and now obviously has been with the main roster for a very, very long time. So perfect card to finish.
There you go.
My Rip and rant. So there you go.
I love it. Yeah, I mean the perfect way to finish up there. So, Adam, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go?
Let's. I'll go next. Why not? That way, because you got a few packs in your box, right? So we could just go as many as time will allow. Yep. So exactly. let's go. Let's do a little history lesson here. And That one actually opened pretty easily. Sometimes I get worried with those foil packs. Okay. All right. So a little bit of a curvature here in the cards because, hey, it's a 40-year-old pack, but we got here when the smoke cleared between Demolition and Strikeforce, Axe and Smash walked away with the belts, which marked the first of several title reigns for them. So there you go.
I like it.
Let's see here. Our next
Never
one.
a big fan of Demolition, by the way. I always thought they were Road Warrior ripoffs.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you.
Up next, we've got in the WWF title tournament, Ravishing Rick Rude squared off against Jake the Snake Roberts there. That's a great action shot.
It's a great shot. That's a great card.
Yeah.
Great card. And one of the all-time great Twitter accounts, by the way. I forget the exact handle, but if you search it, you'll be able to find it. Rick Rude selling the atomic drop.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, because there was nobody better at selling the atomic drop than him.
All right, here we have the mighty Hercules wrapped up the Ultimate Warrior in a punishing full Nelson. WrestleMania 4, by the way, was the first WrestleMania in which the Warrior wrestled.
I didn't know that.
Wow. So I educated the two wrestling fans on something about, wow. I mean, I might just leave right now.
Well, both of those guys no longer with us, Hercules Hernandez and the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
In the final quarter of the tournament, the Macho Man engaged Greg the Hammer Valentine in battle. So let me turn that the right way. Go.
There you go. Greg Valentine, one of the all-time greats. Jimmy Mouth of South Hart in the background, one of the all-time greatest managers. That's a great action shot as well.
I'm very happy with this pack. I may have to go get another one off of eBay.
Yeah,
these are very photogenic packs, and I love
their action shots, which are my favorite, are the action shots.
All right, so here we go. The Hammer used his superior suplexing ability to combat the limitless talents of the Macho Man, now known as the Macho King.
Interesting. So you got two shots in the same deck of the same match.
So that's not really a double, though. I don't know what that's called. But
No,
that's
it's
like
not a double, but it's interesting that you got two cards that are from the same match, though.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a history of all the WrestleManias. It didn't necessarily say 4, but it's a series 2. Whether he wins or loses, the immortal Hulk Hogan always stands proud as he did at WrestleMania 4. There you go. What else do we got here? The $1 Million Man and his bodyguard Virgil race to the aid of the felled Andre the Giant. It's like basically like a recap of like the whole WrestleMania 4 event here. At the moment of the Macho Man's triumph from WrestleMania 4, the Hulkster was right there to join in the revelry. Go.
There you go.
Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. In the semifinal match, Randy Savage was besieged by the mammoth one-man gang, who is better known nowadays as Akeem.
One-man gang, one of the great heels. Randy Savage, one of the best of all time, obviously.
Yeah, one of the greatest.
Oh, yeah. All right, here. So we got the opening match at WrestleMania 4 featured a 20-man invitational battle royale between some of the best athletes in WWF. So a little battle royale shot there.
I always love the old school battle royales.
To me, the Royal Rumble is still that's the one I actually would still watch occasionally.
Yeah, that's still the event, but yeah, I mean, you always like a good battle royal.
That WrestleMania in New Jersey, in Atlantic City. That WrestleMania.
Nice. Oh wow. Let's see. Bobby the Brain Heenan scored a win in a 6-man tag team match by pinning the Birdman Coco Beware.
Wow. I'm sure he doesn't have that on his resume, Coco Beware.
I don't think so. It's not going to be on his LinkedIn page.
No.
Yeah, you just said some 20,000 fans assembled to see WrestleMania 4 live at Trump Plaza in New Jersey, while millions more watched the action on the closed circuit television. Let's see what we got. 3 more cards to go here. In the first round of the tournament, Ted DiBiase drove a knee into Hacksaw Jim Dugan's back while he fought with the Giant at ringside. Andre the Giant looking pretty dapper there.
Yeah, and Ted DiBiase, what a great character. That $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase character was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, 2 cards
Dave,
to go.
you've had him on the show a bunch of times. Have you ever asked him how he got to playing the $1 Million Man character? Because I can't imagine it would take a lot of arm twisting to be like, hey, we want you to play a millionaire on TV where you just buy off everybody.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, Vince McMahon would have him arrive in limos and have him fly first class because, he wanted everyone to, if they saw him, in everyday life, to perceive him like he was a multimillionaire.
Right.
So
the multi-million-dollar man is not flying coach and he's not eating.
No, so he did live that lavish lifestyle because Vince McMahon wanted him to play that character. So yeah.
He definitely loses some imagery of that $1 million man if you're arguing with somebody at like the, Delta counter at JFK. It kind of loses a little, like trying to get on a coach seat on a flight.
Well, think about it, Adam, especially back then. If you were sitting next to the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, on Coach, like word would get out and that would just completely ruin the gimmick. So, yeah.
2 more cards to go here before we kick it over to Jared. Dino Bravo drove a boot into the Rock Don Morocco's midsection during their tournament altercation. Always love a good crotch kick.
Dino Bravo, who was murdered later because he had ties, everybody said, with some seedy people, let's just say. We won't be specific. But he was very good. And Don Morocco, Hall of Famer, one of the greats.
Now, last card here in my pack, when Rick Rude and Jake the Snake Roberts wrestled to a draw in WrestleMania, Jake gave Rude a little touch of Damien, his snake right there.
Roberts.
One thing I learned in the vet field 5 years, snakes they're not slimy. They're actually very smooth. They actually feel very nice. Only certain ones you got to be scared of, not all of them.
I interviewed Alice Cooper, and Alice Cooper obviously handles snakes quite frequently.
Every night.
And he said that the one snake that he was a bit afraid of was Jake Roberts' snake at WrestleMania 3 because Alice Cooper takes very care of his snakes, make sure they're well fed, make sure they're comfortable and happy. Jake Roberts would throw his snake in a bag and toss his bag around. So very angry and very surly. So, Alice Cooper was actually pretty afraid of Jake Roberts' snake.
Funny you mentioned it because I just saw Cooper with Rob Zombie maybe a couple months ago, and I meant to text you after because it was the first time I ever saw Cooper, and I forgot to text you. But his show was fantastic.
Yeah, he was great. When I saw that in Pennsylvania, I missed Ministry and Filter. I didn't get to see them, but Cooper and Zombie I thought were fantastic.
Yeah, they were. I saw them in Concord, California. Both were on their A games that night for sure.
And it's just back to Jake for a second. It's good to see him still involved in the world of wrestling.
Yeah, he's with AEW. He's in the corner of Lance Archer. He's doing a great job. Still one of the best talkers ever in wrestling.
One of the best talkers, and Lance Archer, very underutilized talent in my opinion. He's one of my favorites on AEW. All right, let me. It's the one thing with these Panini Prizm packs sometimes is they're a little tricky to open, so I got to bust out the box cutter to take care of that. But we'll dive right into this very first pack here, and we are going to start with. It looks like it's a little NXT heavy to start. Fallon Henley.
Okay, all right.
Very glossy.
Yeah, that is glossy. I can see my reflection in that card.
Yeah, big fan of the Prizm cards for that reason. So that's focus. Pretty good action shot of her. I can't tell who she's grappling with in the ring, but
can I ask you a question? Where do you keep your cards? How do you store your cards? How do you keep your cards?
So that's an interesting question, and I'm glad you bring that up because I've recently invested in. It looks like I keep a gun in this thing, but it's actually just a little.
The better cards for the ones worth putting in the foam container and the hard shell case. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So I just I go through. I put the ones that are worth keeping. I put in a little protective sleeve, and then then they're available if I want to go through them later, or if I have any rookie cards. And it's like, all right, cool. I got a CD Lamb card here, so there you go. Unfortunately, CD Lamb.
I will readily admit I made a major mistake with mine. So I got a book.
Got a binder. Okay.
The binder, and I put my cards in here, and the problem with that is that it hurt the edges of the card, so it actually damaged the card. So I wish I would have done what you did. One of my
you want to do is
collection is The Rock.
Oh wow!
player for the Calgary Stampedes.
Oh, that's a great card.
Yeah.
See, I mean, to me, like, yes, like it damages the corners going out of the binder, but if you're more just cards for like a display or a team set, like I'm okay with that because it is fun to flip through the pages and look at all the cards. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's much easier, but I know for like there's probably collectors who are watching this right now are probably screaming at me because it does damage the card and it lessens the value of the card.
Yeah, you want to invest in something like this, just like some Ultra Pros top loaders. You get a little plastic sleeve and then a little top loader that you put it in, and it protects the card so it's stays nice and perfectly flat. So there you go. All right, looks like we got one of our refractor prisms here. A rookie card, actually says rookie card on it. Eliza Alexander.
Okay, nice card. Again, beautiful card.
Panini knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and they make a great sandwich.
Yeah, they do.
Very, very good sandwich. Yes, we have not made that joke on this show. Carmelo Hayes.
I mean, you could just do like an adult Happy Meal at Panera and put like a pack of trading cards in with the sandwich at lunch. Like I'd be all about that.
All right, so Carmelo
Hayes. Carmelo Hayes. Big fan of Carmelo Hayes. I love him. He's great. He's going to be
one of the big stars. Like
he's going to be one of the big stars. So that's a keeper right there.
And we finished this first pack off with a legend, the lovely Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus. I'm a big fan of Trish Stratus. She's been on the show many times. She actually signed, she sent me this. She got her own pop figure, Trish Stratus.
Oh, that's nice.
And she signed it for me. And then when she sent it to me, she said, my favorite radio host, Dave.
Oh, that's
really nice.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She's the best.
Yeah. She was when I was on Busted Open, she was gracious enough to take a picture with me before she did the interview. So I'm gonna have to send that to Adam so he can put it in post, so we can put it up here. So shout out to Trish Stratus and shout out to Mike Riker, who's also in that photo.
Oh, also Jared, you took a picture of Hulk Hogan.
And Kurt Angle and DDP. There's one of DDP with the diamond cutter. I have this goofy look on my face, so. I got a lot of photos there of various wrestling legends. So that's one of the perks of working on the #1 wrestling show in the world. Nice, great action shot here. The legendary Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels delivering the super kick on the cane.
Oh yeah, that is an action shot if I ever saw one.
Good one.
So we follow that up with Aaliyah.
I was a fan of Aaliyah too.
Let's see who we have next. We have Tiffany Stratton, who I know just had a big match.
She's like a month or two ago against Becky Lynch. She's going to be main eventing WrestleMania one day. Tiffany Stratton.
Really? That kind of upside?
Yeah, she's just been in the world for a cup of coffee, but man, you could see the charisma, the personality, and the talent. She's going to be a big star.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not even so much necessarily about the wrestling, even though like that, obviously they can go in the ring, but it's about having like that presence and that charisma, that little something you just can't teach. So, and we finished this pack with Amari Miller.
Nice.
So this feels like a very NXT heavy pack, which I'm a little NXT heavy box, which I'm a little surprised with, but I don't necessarily mind it.
Okay. Again, really nice cards, like you said. Panini does it well.
So we follow this up with Wolfgang.
Okay.
Delivering, looks like a suplex there of some sort. Another one of our refractor cards here from the New Day, Xavier Woods. So that's a cool action shot there of him top rope, elbow from the top rope.
Hmm?
And Xavier is pretty cool. Like I follow a lot of the video game stuff that he does. He's
used into the video games.
Trick Williams. This looks like one of our green or orange or whatever refractors.
Trick Williams is one of the more popular stars on NXT right now.
Yep. And another legend here to finish up this pack, R-Truth.
All right. How many packs we got left?
I got 3 more packs, just 12 more cards. So we'll be able to go through these really quickly.
All righty. Then we'll get to the starting lineup unboxing with a little box break there.
Look at the stack of cards I opened up on this show. I didn't realize I opened up this many cards.
Yeah, and now it's
45.
like, what do I do with them? I'm still behind from actually putting these in sleeves. Like these are all the baseball cards I opened up last week that are.
These are like the
still
last few recordings of like Rip N Riff right here. So there you go.
I would make people so angry right now if I were to take this elastic band and wrap it around the card. Like
they'd be so mad.
What I would do. Like that's what I would do when I was a kid. But I'm sure collectors would be like screaming and yelling if I put this.
Like, exactly. What are you doing? All right, so we start this pack with the man Becky Lynch. Great shot of her jumping off the ladder. I guess. Looks like Asuka is about to be on the receiving end of this maneuver.
There you go.
Becky Lynch.
Matt Riddle.
No longer with the WWE.
No longer with the WWE, but we do have him commemorated in card form. So
there you go. He will be remembered forever thanks to Panini.
One of another legend, another person I'm pretty sure you've had on Busted Open a million times over the years. The legendary Mick Foley.
Mick Foley, yep, definitely a legend.
And one of my favorites from the Attitude Era, The Godfather.
No, The Godfather, he's been on the show as well, The Godfather. Hall of Famer, best friends with The Undertaker, The Godfather.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, so these guys are just legends. It's awesome. You know, they're on the road with each other so many days back in the day. So really cool card here to start off this pack. The almighty Bobby Lashley, kind of like a silhouette of him.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
No background there. So that's why I really like this card.
Hey, Jared, are there only 4 cards per pack?
4 per pack, yeah. So this is the 5th pack. I got one more pack after this. But we move right on.
Some packs will be like 4, some will be like 15. It varies.
But we move right on to Josh Briggs, who is giving somebody a big boot there.
Yep.
Joe Gacy.
Wow, it really is NXT heavy.
Yep, but you know what? I don't mind that. I really don't mind that. And someone who you got in one of your packs, Dave, Rhea Ripley.
Yep. Now that's the Rhea Ripley we know and love from Judgment Day.
So that's what Rhea Ripley looks like now, Adam, and as opposed to what Dave had on his card, where she just looks completely different. But
before and after.
There you go.
Rhea, huge star, a big fan of watching her. So, all right, last pack.
How much did these packs go for, Jared?
So this box that I bought was $30.
Okay.
So
not bad.
I mean, the Panini cards are a little pricier, but you know what? You're paying for quality.
Get what you pay for.
Exactly. So I don't know if this is considered a rookie card because he hasn't quite debuted yet, but it doesn't actually say rookie card on it. But Gable Stevenson. So that's one of the WWE NIL deals that they've got going on. So we'll be seeing him on Monday Night Raw at some point.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we saw him in that one match, and we really didn't see him again after that. So we'll see if we see him again.
All right, this is an awesome card. This is one of those silver prisms that I was talking about earlier. And if you're going to get a silver prism, you want to get a legend on it. So how about the Dead Man?
Yeah,
the
Undertaker.
Oh, wow.
There he is.
Just a great card there.
Here, take a sleeve for that, Jared, right here. Get that in a penny sleeve.
Yeah, put that in your box.
it'll go in the box shortly. So we have top tier Lacey Evans.
Yeah, Lacey Evans no longer with the WWE. I think she's quit wrestling altogether. Lacey Evans.
Well, she's a smart woman. I'm sure she'll be successful in anything that she does. And last but not least, it's funny. This is the last card you pulled, Dave. It's also the last card I pulled. Arguably the GOAT, Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair.
Wow.
Pound for pound, I think at the end of the day, the greatest women's wrestler of all time, Charlotte Flair.
So
wow.
Definitely it's a little weird how, there was a little bit of symmetry there. The fact that both of our last cards were Charlotte Flair. We both got a Rhea Ripley, but overall, very pleased with that box.
And I'll say, Jared, like obviously Adam's cards were like classic WrestleMania action shots. You and I, it's really the whole, quality over quantity. I got much more, as far as like the bulk of cards, but your quality, I mean, those cards are beautiful and keepers. You are going to put those in plastic sleeves in your box, and I put the rubber band around my back. So
I love you, Dave. I really do.
There you go.
All right. So before we get out of here, of course, we wrap every episode where we get to pick a starting lineup at mystery starting lineup that I will unbox and get to keep. So it's really a segment that benefits me, and you guys just get to partake in it. So just here's the rules. So I'll give you a vague hint about each one. One's hockey, one's football, one's baseball, one's basketball, and you'll pick the one to unbox. You're allowed one question after I give the vague descriptions. Keep in mind, starting lineup was late 80s through like the end of the 90s. So most of your athletes to guess are going to be in there, although they do have like, a Gordie Howe for the Red Wings, like they do, or a Roger Staubach for the Cowboys. So there. All right.
I always like to try to guess who these are. And it's funny. It just shows how much Adam and myself think alike. I'd say I'm probably, shooting around 50% on some of these guesses.
So I always try to do a theme, like if the guest is on, I try to like kind of theme it that way. So while 3 of these are also serious people that have hosted on SiriusXM at one point or another, the first one is not. The hockey one is not, but he had in an illustrious career, he did play for Dave's Devils at one point. So that's your hint there. The basketball one was a host on SiriusXM, but not for a sports channel. Basketball player there. The football player we'll call an underrated Dallas Cowboy. And then the last one, the baseball one, was a host on the sports channels, both baseball and fantasy.
All right. Can I make some guesses?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. So for the basketball, Bill Bradley?
Oh, so close.
Not what I was going to say. Brad Doherty, right?
Bill Walton.
Oh, Bill Walton.
Okay.
He had the show on the Grateful Dead channel for a while there on Saturday, another Saturday night or something.
And then because I guess Bill Bradley, because he had a political show. He had a show on political.
Very good guess. Very good guess.
But I was wrong. All right. For the football, you said underrated Cowboy, correct?
Yes.
Bill Bates.
Close. Mr. Moose Johnston.
Oh, I was going to guess Moose Johnston. Dang. All right. I'm very bad at this game.
It's all right. No problem. We're going to still open one of these today anyway. So we still have a hockey guess and a baseball guess here. Jared, would you like to take a guess?
Wait, hold on, Jared. Before you guess the hockey.
Yes.
Okay.
From the sound of what Adam said, because I was listening intently, even though I got both my guesses wrong. I feel like the hockey one is somebody that played with the Devils but didn't have his greatest success with the Devils. Would I be right in saying that?
Yes. He had a very long career and a very good career, and he definitely had a stop in Jersey, but that's not where you would necessarily associate him.
All right. So we kind of got hung up on this a couple weeks ago when we did one of these because the first name that comes to mind is Brendan Shanahan, but who's obviously he played for the Devils, but is best known for his playing days elsewhere. So I don't think it's going to be him, and especially with that sort of era where the starting lineup falls in. So I'm just going to throw a random dart here. I'm going to say Doug Gilmour.
While Doug Gilmour did have starting lineups.
And was on the Devils.
He was on the Devils. We're talking Jaromir Jagr here.
Well, of course.
Wow,
I mean, yeah.
That is
misleading a little
misleading.
bit. Misleading. I do have a Jagr autograph.
It's not misleading. I mean, Adam was very, very honest. He had a long career. He had but like even I think some hardcore Devil fans would forget that he played with the Devils.
Yeah.
And not just that, and not just that, like when he played with the Devils, because he played with the Devils in 2014.
Yes. And any guess at the baseball one?
Jim Bowden.
No, can you give me a hint again for the baseball?
So he hosted on both the Fantasy Channel and for the MLB Channel. He's a former New York Met, but he's not in the starting lineup here. He is pictured as a Expo.
Oh. Adam, you have any? I mean, Jared, you have any guesses?
I mean, until he said former Expo, I would have said Steve Phillips.
It's got to be a player.
Got to be a player.
But that's the thing. It's got to be a player.
And I was going to say Gary Carter, but Gary Carter never hosted on SiriusXM.
Rest in peace, Gary.
I don't. I'm sorry. I don't have a guess here.
Cliff Lloyd.
Oh, I should have.
I didn't even know he hosted on SiriusXM.
Long time ago. Yeah, he was there for a couple of years. So there you go, Uncle Cliffy. In honor of Dave, we'll open up the Cowboy today. We'll open up Moose Johnston. He let me wear his Super Bowl ring once when he came into the studio. That thing is super heavy, man.
Moose was one of my favorite people to work with at SiriusXM. And I'm not a jersey guy anymore. A certain person that we worked with at SiriusXM made me not wear jerseys anymore. But the one Cowboy jersey I do own is a Moose Johnston jersey. So
here we go. So there's the card.
Ask all the good questions.
Yes, he does. That's a sharp looking card.
And then here's the actual starting lineup of Moose himself there with the 48. He's carrying the ball. He's probably getting a goal line carry there. Even though Emmitt Smith would have 20 touchdowns, Johnson would still find a few at the goal line.
He would, and he was the lead blocker for many of those Emmitt Smith touchdowns too. So there
you go.
That 92 Cowboy team is my all-time favorite Cowboy team, and he was the anchor of that team.
92 was the 52-17 Super Bowl over Buffalo.
Yes,
because they played him the year after that too, but that was a little bit of a closer game.
Yes.
But yeah, so Moose Johnston, he's going to join our starting lineup studio audience next week.
Nice.
Which, we're going to bring him up on the screen right now. Now, last week's unboxing recipient was Mr. Chuck Knobloch, so that's why he's there. Next to him is Ricky Henderson in the Yankees garb in '89. Dave, I know, used to go to Nets games back in the Derek Coleman days there with those jerseys. And next to him is Patrick Ewing. Then on the bottom row, we got a 97 Keyshawn Johnson, a 92 Michael Irvin, Jason Arnott from 1997, another former Devil, as we discussed, and then Adam Graves in the 95 Rangers there. But yeah, I threw that Coleman in there for you for your old memories at Brendan Byrne Arena.
Well, at least you threw out him and not like an Ed O'Bannon or a Yankadare. So thank you for doing that. Or Rex Walters.
Rex Walters.
That was my team. The Nets were my team. And Adam, this is one of those classic cases of when the team moved, my fandom ended.
So when they moved to Brooklyn, that was it.
Yeah, when they moved out of New Jersey, that team right there that he was a part of was a playoff team. You know, Jason Williams was the sixth man on that team. That was a big time. Petrovic was on that team.
Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson. But when they moved out of New Jersey, as a matter of fact, when they moved out of the Meadowlands, I stopped watching because then they had a short stint at The Rock.
They played there for like 2 years
before they moved to Brooklyn. But yeah, when they left the Meadowlands, I washed my hands of the team and I never followed them again.
It used to be so much fun to go to Nets games back in the day. It used to be cheap. You'd be able to get in there for like $15, maybe even less, and you see all the best players in the NBA come through.
I saw them all. I saw Shaq. I saw Michael Jordan. You know, I saw all the greats. You know, because I was a season ticket holder from 91 to 98. So that was a great time to be a Nets fan.
And you know, I know a lot of people like to crap on the old Brendan Byrne Arena, but like,
great building.
That was our building, Dave. Like I know you get this as like a North Jersey guy who went to many concerts there, hockey games, wrestling shows. Like that was our building, and the fact that it was just the one concourse, everyone would mass exit at once. You couldn't even move. Just hanging out in the parking lot before the game, like that's our building.
And I'm sure, and you know, I'm sure other fans could relate to that. Like, is Citi Field better than Shea Stadium? Without a doubt. But Shea Stadium had a lot of memories. It was a piece of crap, but it was like
it was your crap.
Piece of crap, yeah. I'm sure the new Yankee Stadium is much better than the old Yankee Stadium, but that Yankee Stadium had all right. So there you go. That Yankee Stadium had a lot of memories. I love the Prudential Center. I love the Rock. I think that's one of the most underrated arenas in the country.
Agreed.
I absolutely love the Prudential Center for concerts, for sporting events. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But I do miss the Brendan Byrne Arena. But if I were to pick the best arena in the country, and I think I've been to pretty much all of them, I think Prudential Center is it's either at or near the top of the list for sure.
I agree. I've traveled for a lot of hockey games after I moved out west. I got to see a lot of buildings out here, and to me, the Prudential Center. I mean, don't get me wrong, that upper level. If you got a little vertigo problem, or if you're maybe don't look down, but it's the sight lines in there are great. The concerts that sound in there are great. Like I still don't. I mean, to me, that and the Staples Center are still like the two standards.
But the two things I'll say about that, there's other arenas in this area that are worse in terms of like just it being like a steep climb up. Like I can't stand the Barclays Center for that reason. Like I feel like sitting anywhere in the upper bowl of the Barclays Center is like a death trap because if you fall, you're going to kill somebody. So there's that. But yeah, great memories of going to the Prudential Center. Dave, me and you and our good mutual friend Louis Gold saw the Foo Fighters there. So
I might have been at that same show actually.
Yeah, I think you were. You might have been at that show too. Adam, but we weren't sitting with you.
And I think now, the Brendan Byrne Arena, Continental Airlines Arena, Meadowlands Arena, Izod Center. I think it's been closed now for about 8 years. Like 2015, I think it closed. It still stands. I drive by there once in a while. It still stands, but yeah, it's been closed down for quite some time.
Yeah. Do you know what they're doing in there now? And then now they use it as like a staging area to make like NBC sitcoms and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's what it's up to.
As long as it still stands, that's good enough for me.
Agreed. Wow, my first basketball game was a Nets Lakers, and it was the Shaq Kobe Lakers. So like that, the Devil's sight lines were great. Concert sounding great. Yeah, the old Izod, Brendan Byrne, whatever you want to call it, Continental was great stuff. But we had a great show. We had some great stuff here today. We did an all wrestling episode of Rip N Riff, and I've got to say, Dave, thank you so much for coming on, ripping and riffing with us here for a bit on the day of Survivor Series. And most importantly, it was just really good to see an old friend that you take for granted when you see somebody in the office every day, 5 days a week. Sometimes you get to talk for a few minutes, sometimes you don't, but like, man, it's been too long, and it was really good to see you and hang out with you today.
I was thinking about it earlier today because I was really looking forward to doing the show. I saw both you guys, I mean, for at least a decade, every day of my life for about a 10-year period. And then, life changes so fast and things happen. And it was great to be with you guys. Great to do the show. Thank you so much for having me.
No, we loved having you, Dave. Before you get out of here, definitely want to make sure you plug all your stuff, Bust It Open, and all that good stuff. So where can we hear it? Who are you doing the show with nowadays? How can we catch it? Do you have anything special planned coming up for the show with Royal Rumble, WrestleMania next year? Whatever you want to plug, the floor is yours, my friend.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, you can listen to Bust It Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern time on SiriusXM Fight Nation. Myself, Thunder Rosa, Bully Ray, Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, Mickey James, rotating co-hosts every day. They're all amazing in their own way. Also, please subscribe to the Busted Open podcast. Thankfully, we've hit number 1 many times. So thank you for that. Everyone who's listening that subscribes, make sure you subscribe. We're now, Jared, back on YouTube. We just got back on YouTube. So, nice. Please subscribe, hit that notification button so each and every time there's a new video. And you can follow us at Busted Open Radio on all our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We'll be Busted Open will be live WrestleMania weekend at the old ECW Arena in Philadelphia. So make sure you check that out. Nice. And then you're one of the first outlets that I made this announcement on, but February 10th, I will be doing a show at the Dave LaGreca Experience at the Gramercy Theater in Manhattan. So just look for that. That's February 10th. at the Gramercy Theater in Manhattan. And tickets, just look out, follow me at David LaGreca 1, and, tickets will be going on sale soon. So it fits about 500 people, so I'm hoping to sell it out. So I hope you guys, Adam, if you're traveling back to the East Coast, I hope you come. Jared, I hope you come, and I hope your listeners come. So it's gonna be me doing about a 90-minute show with a lot of great guests. I'm already planning my guests. So thanks to Live Nation. Live Nation is sponsoring the event, so I'm looking forward to that. February 10th.
So you're teasing some of those pictures of the Gramercy, so that's cool.
Yeah. So
knowing you and knowing the connections you have and the people we know, you are going to have no trouble selling that out, my friend. I think that's going to be a hot ticket. So,
and it's going to be, I'm hoping if this works, maybe doing a bit of a tour around the country. So the show on February 10th is going to be very New York, New Jersey centric, just talking about growing up in the area and growing up watching wrestling in this area. So that's what the show is going to be about. So looking forward to seeing everybody out there on February 10th.
If you're ever out in the Bay Area, I will be your first ticket purchased. That is a promise.
Thank you, Adam.
Well, that will do it for this edition of Rip and Riff here on the Fantasy Alarm and Better Sports Network YouTube channels. For our guest, Dave LaGreca, at David LaGreca 1 on Twitter. For my right-hand man and the reason I love doing the show, Mr. Jared Moore. At Mr. Jared Moore on Twitter. I'm Adam Bernard at Pucking Thoughts. Be back with you next Saturday, the first December edition of R&R next week. Thanks for tuning in.